Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you're at, ladies and gents. I am Kura Isagami, your resident tinkerer and Medarot, and this is the Medarot News Network, bringing you all the latest developments and happenings with our favorite pet-fighting robot series. Well, as we crest back into business as per usual here at the tail end of March, it looks like we're going to be having a couple rather interesting surprises and, might I say, quite a bit of a number of rewards that will be officially up for grabs as we officially say farewell once again to the Zoids collaboration and all the new models and old ones that they did bring along the way. That being said, let's go ahead and jump right into what was officially announced for this week, starting with the gacha banners and who to expect in this week's lineup. Now, it appears that this week's lineup for stuff is going to be pretty heavily reliant and based around MedaSurvivor primarily, given that we will be seeing the SHOGI type that was introduced in that game officially make the jump from 2D to 3D. That being said, we do see the introduction of SHG-0 Atsuizeo-te with a kit of Fight, Full Charge, Provoke, Emit Blade, Tank Legs, and the leg ability of Pupa. And he is the only brand new model that will be going live this week as all the Zoids banners officially say farewell and close, and everything kind of goes back down to business as usual. Now, given what he's bringing to the table, it's actually, well, I'd say that's even pun intended, given that he's basically a shogi table. It's very interesting how they put him together. There is no new skills, no new mechanics or anything to bring to the table. He's just a very self-synergetic CG sustain and DPS type with a very powerful Emit Blade and Fight Full Charge that can synergize extremely well with each other, and then of course Provoke for being able to draw enemy fire if he has to play aggro. For the boosted rates we have going up this week alongside the legendary Shogi type by Kajima Hideto, we have AZL0 Salvation with Canceller, Double Ghost Shot, Float Legs, and Clairvoyance, and HDR01 Vasiliades with RP Shot, Rebuild, Rebuild Shot, Tank Legs, and Reversal. So ultimately, it seems very abundantly clear, like I said, that it's not going to be just a MedaSurvivor frontrunners over these last couple weeks, but it's also going to be focusing mostly on sustain and survivability more than raw DPS, even if Salvation in this sense does actually have the capability of it. Being able to have access to that will make for some very easy builds no matter how you choose to go about it. The nice thing as well, there are no meta change models or anything of the like that is up for grabs this week, so it will make it very easy to collect at least one part or even just a couple parts of different models for anything that you choose to make use of. For the Fierce Battles we have this week, it's going to be a very user-friendly week with all the models that we have up and running. This time around, we have returnees for DHN0 Dola Horse with Stat Cleanse, Sword, Guard Boost, Multi-Legs, and Hidden. GHT0 Misty Ghost with triple Guard 500, Double Guard 300, Float Legs, and Hoplite. And BEE0 Propolis with triple Bug, Flight Legs, and Spearhead. On the bottom row, we have CCD0 Semi-Cicade with Melee Trap, Double Break, Flight Legs, and Nest. HNT01 Queen Vespa with Heater Plant, Double Static, Float Legs, and Extra Magazine. And LDB03 Ptolemy with Scope, Rifle, Gatling, Biped Legs, and Gunman. Now, like I said, all 6 models that we have up this week for the Fierce Battles are going to be very user-friendly in all sorts of different situations. Dola Horse mostly for your all-round auxiliary support between Stat Cleanse and Guard Boost, being able to keep things low or keep ailments off your tail, and then of course a basic sword if you do need it. Misty Ghost is going to absolutely be one of the big MVPs of the week because he is a free shielder with fantastic numbers across the board that can even carry into current competitive meta extremely easily, and is just as easily farmed and raised. Then we also have Propolis for triple bug if you need to add turn skipping into your repertoire. Semi-Cicade will be really good for heavy punish with break. Queen Vespa, who is also MVP of the week for static if you need to cut down on any particularly bulky walls or shields, and Ptolemy also going to be very good for kind of your beginner-friendly shooter for any female-reliant teams. So ultimately, like I said, Misty Ghost and Queen Vespa will be the 2 really big MVPs of the week for what they bring to the table, between superb defensive capabilities or the ability to bypass all damage resistances and just cut the armor in half, no ifs, ands, or buts about it, and what they all bring. Now, for the events that are going on this week as it goes back down to business as usual, there are a lot, and oh boy, I mean a lot of previously event-only medals that are officially up for grabs over the course of this week. Just looking at this entire list here, 22 medals are up for grabs if you ended up missing any of them. So, looking to read all of those off here in order from left to right, we have Racer, Cleaner, Astronaut, Rat, Badger, Goat, Prince, Whale, Wrestler, Miner, Puppet, Horseshoe Crab, Captain, Heel, Toad, Princess, Hydra, Rook, Hawk, Maid, Mole, and Summoner. And the Summoner is the most recent from the Shin Megami Devi Kids collaboration, so that one's going to be fairly recent. But it is going to be very nice to see 22 different new medals that are up for grabs, not just for veteran players that perhaps missed one or two of them along the way, but also for new players to pick up a bunch of new medals right from square one to make team flexibility so much easier than it could ever be going through the game vanilla before any of these medals ever hit the game. Now, aside from all of these medals, as you see, there are a handful of other big rewards incoming too, which include FYN0 Fey Knit with Repair Plant, Restore, Repair, Biped Legs, and Fairy Charge, MWB02 Vagueman with Triple Wave, Multi-Legs, and Explorer, LDB0 Honey Force with Mirror Guard, Slip, Charge Drain, Biped Legs, and All-Rounder, and SRB0 Strawberry Milk with Rifle, Double Gatling, Biped Legs, and Assail. So this event in particular is going to be tickets, or should I say shogi based, for everything that's being brought to the table. So, bonuses will be stacking per part equipped across the team. You do not need to use pure sets like you would a boss fight or a score attack event. It's going to be a very easy in and out once you collect all the tickets you need and redeem for all the events and rewards that you perhaps missed or might be in need of. So, very easy in and out. It's just going to be a really big slog if you're a brand new player just getting into the game. Something else to mention that was announced in this morning's news is the fact that they are going to be rerunning the Go Nagai collaboration starting this week. Now, before anyone asks, no, they are not introducing any new models. They are not introducing anything new or groundbreaking right after the Zoids collab. Yes, I understand, and it doesn't make a lot of sense to me either why they're running two collaborations like this back-to-back, but it appears that this one's going to be mostly a filler. So, again, nothing brand new, nothing you haven't already seen. If you missed these models the first time, this is a good opportunity to go back and pick them up for any that you wanted to pick up but missed. Mazin Z will be the event reward, of course, so he is free to pick up if you do choose to participate. This filler will be going live from 3/26, so the end of this month, to 4/16, so about 2 weeks into next month. So you have plenty of time. Like I said, they're going to be rerunning everything as is, so very, very easy in and out if you missed it the first time. For MedaSurvivor, it's going to be fairly quiet on that front as well, with the exception of the new Endless mode that should be going live here very soon. But they also introduced a brand new model, and that is AZL0 Salvation, the Angel of Death type, will be officially joining the game in MedaSurvivor as well, as a crit and DPS-oriented character, which deals a lot of heavy burst damage, and especially with a high crit rate like it does, making it very useful for any crit-oriented or DPS filler teams that you could probably use them on. Everything, of course, will be resetting and refreshing as far as events are concerned, so aside from Salvation, the Endless mode is going to be the other really big piece of news that's coming this week for MedaSurvivor. Moving on to community-related stuff, as always, we're still looking for translators to assist with any ongoing projects or endeavors, such as Medarot 4, the manga translations, or Medarot 9, or anything else of the like. If you are knowledgeable in coding, cleaning, Japanese, and have some time in your hands, or if you know somebody that might be, do not hesitate to reach out to me or join our Discord, ask around. We will get you in touch with the right people to fill you in on what still needs done. Alternatively, you can also donate to the cause with a link to various crowdfunding in the comments below, and we can commission some extra lines of text to be translated on our behalf to kind of help speed the process along and make it a little easier overall. Now, of course, I did talk about my Zoids and Medarot retrospective with my dear friend Phobos, who I had on the MNN as of last night at time of recording, and we kind of went over all 18 Zoids models that were showcased over 4 different waves of the collab. It was an absolute blast and a real pleasure to have a resident expert talk with me about that and kind of learn the story from both sides. That is officially fully recorded and uploaded. It will be going live sometime this week. Do stay tuned on any of my socials to stay updated on that when it does officially go up and you guys can watch it. Just a brief warning though, it is about 2 hours long since we had lots of very enlightening discussion, so do make sure that you take some time to sit down and listen in and check it out. One other reminder of the PRB Ori Meta contest that's still ongoing. We are now getting ready to hit the 30-day remaining mark here, coming here very soon. So there's still plenty of time to participate for your chance at free art and a row battle analytics breakdown video. So I'm excited to see that. Please do not hesitate to reach out to me if you have any questions. One final reminder, like I said, I am also on Card, so if you want to reach out for any commissions, for collaborations, or see my rates, that's the best place you can do it. The link is provided here and in the comments below as well if you have any questions, if you want to get in touch with me quickly. But that basically covers everything for this week's episode. So, like I said, it's going to be a fairly light week, but very busy nonetheless, with the introduction of Atsuizeo-te, the Go Nagai collaboration rerun, and everything else alike. It's going to be rather busy over the next couple weeks in particular. But with that being said, if you'd like to know more, you can follow us below on Facebook at the Medarot News Network page, or the Metabots Forever community on Facebook that's currently swelled over 52,000 members and growing. You can also join us on Discord in the link provided and in the comments below to keep it even closer ear to the ground on the action. This includes any new links to merchandise, fan art, contests, my weekly episodes, or anything else of the like. That is the first place you will hear it before it goes anywhere else. And then, of course, you can reach out to me personally on Twitter, Blue Sky, or Discord at Isagamikura. So don't be afraid to reach out to me. I leave my DMs open on purpose for that reason. Just let me know why you're messaging me so I can reach out, since we can never be too careful with all the bots that are floating around on the internet these days. But with all that being said, as always, I do appreciate you all for stopping in, just as you always do. And until next time, this is your host, Kura Isagami of the Medarot News Network, signing out.